Okay, here we go with some hints for the homework sheet A. The first question is the simultaneous equations. So you have a decision here that you need to make. Which numbers are we going to make the same? So we're going to make the numbers before the x, so these coefficients. Are we going to make the 3 and the 2 the same? Or are we going to make the ones in front of the y the same? I am going to make the ones in front of the y the same, so I'm going to make these ones the same. So because this one is currently a 2 and this one's currently a 1, then I'm going to multiply the top one by 1, in other words I'm not going to do anything with it, and I'm going to multiply the bottom one by 2. Now remember, when you multiply the bottom one by 2, then the 2x gets doubled, the negative y gets doubled, and the negative 5 gets doubled. Once you've done that, and you've got two new equations, right, I would do a big add sum, which is going to let you work out what x is, and then substituting will let you know what y is. Second question, fractions. We know our work on BODMAS says that we need to do the brackets part first of all. So a separate sum, 5 3/8 take away 2 3/4. Deal with the whole numbers first of all, so the 5 take away the 2 gives us 3. Then deal with the fractions. Because you've got an 8 and a 4 on the bottom, then the fraction is eighths that you're dealing with. Get the new top numbers, get your answer. In mathematics we should know that off means times. So for the second part of the question, you do 2/3 times whatever your answer is. Okay, remember to write it as a top heavy fraction. Once you've done that, you should find that there's quite a bit of cancelling. So the 2 will cancel with something over here, and the 3 will cancel with something over here, and then that should allow you to get a nice easy answer. Question 3, calculate the arc length. Well, you know the formula for the arc length. It's the angle at the centre over 360 times pi d. So in our case, the angle's 336. Divide by 360 times pi times, now the diameter, remember, is double the radius. So that's going to be times 30. Just like the last question, various things cancel, and you should end up with a nice wee simple answer. It's not a calculator question, remember, so when you end up with so many pi's, what you need to do is you need to times by 3.14 to get a decimal answer. Question 4, the rainfall in Iowa was 32 centimetres. This was an increase of 60% from last year. So 60% increase means you've got 160%. Okay, now I know the method that you use is if you know 160% is equal to 32 centimetres, then you're going to work out what 1% is, which is then going to give you 100%. Okay, non-calculator, remember. Question 5, equations. Okay, so first thing we do is we notice that we've got a 5 take away a 3, but we don't do anything with that, remember. So 5, and then it's negative 3 times x, negative 3 times negative 4, 8 times 4, 8 times negative x. You should be able to tidy all that up, and x should come out to be a nice easy number. Okay, it's not involved fractions or decimals, just a nice whole number. Question 6, we're on the calculator section now. So the volume of water in a puddle reduces by 15%. So that's 100, what it started with. Take off the 15%, gives you 85%. 85% can get turned into something as a decimal, and then it's that decimal to the power 5, because it's losing water for 5 hours, times the original amount, which was 700. So if you do all that in your calculator, you should come up with the answer. Question 7. The average day is 55,000. There is 3.245 million people. First thing I'm going to do is turn that number into what we'll call a normal number rather than numbers and letters. So 3.245, remember a million has got 6 zeros. However, our first 3 zeros is actually taken up with the 245. So as a normal number, it's 3245 followed by the 3 zeros. So the debt for one person is 55,000. So the debt for this number of people is just a case of timesing them together. Okay, so if you times the purple parts together on your calculator, it should put it into the times 10 to the power. So what I'm looking for my answer is what number times 10 to what power. Remember, it's two significant figures, so you should only have two numbers here. Question 8, a volume. Now, I've just noticed in the questions that I've given you the wrong formula there. The volume of a cone is what it should be in the question, 1/3 pi r squared h. Okay, the one which you need to know that you're supposed to remember is the volume of a cylinder, which is pi r squared h. V equals pi r squared h. So we're going to use both of these formulas to work out the answer. The radius, well, we can get that from the question. The height of the cylinder, we can also get that from the question. Similarly, for the cone part, the radius, you get that from the question, and the height of the cone, you get that from the question. So it's really just a case of plugging all these numbers into these formulas, using your calculator, add your two answers together, and you get the final volume of the shape. Lastly, question 9. Calculate the area of the hexagon. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to calculate the area of a triangle. Because once I know what the one triangle is, all I need to do is times that by 6. So how do you work out the area of a triangle? Area of a triangle is half base times height. So I need to know what the base is. Fortunately, the question tells us it's 8. Next thing I need to know is work out its height. Right? I need to work that out. I can't just get it from the diagram. So I split the triangle in half, which gives me this diagram now. The bottom of this triangle is 4. Now the secret with this question is knowing that all of these triangles inside the shape, these are all equilateral. Equilateral means they're all the same size. So if the side is 8, it also means this side here is 8. So if I do a little bit of Pythagoras work, I can work out the missing height. All I've then got to do is put the base of the triangle, which is 8, the height which you've found, into the formula. That tells you what one triangle is. Once you've got one triangle, times it by 6. Okay, hopefully that helps, guys.